as with everything on YouTube, if you like this channel and content, hit that like button, and if you really like us, subscribe and share this far and wide. So we're about to jump into this car. It's a lie, we already did it. As always, this video probably has everybody saying, what the hell are you doing today, Frank Paul? Let me get up underneath here and show you. Today we're going to replace the the slave cylinder on the clutch, which is sitting right there. You can see there's a weep hole there. It's there. I got to get the starter out of the way. Let me go full wide view for you. I got to get our starter out of the way, disconnected, battery's disconnected. We'll take this out. I'm picking one up here in another hour. Then we get done with that, we're going to come in here and replace all of these old brake lines with some stainless steel brake lines on the front and rear back here. Actually, say that. Oh, it's these. So we'll replace that one, and we follow this one up, and we're gonna replace that one. So we're gonna get those replaced, and if we have time, hold on. If we have time, we're gonna redo these inner and outer ball tie rod ends and ball joints. So I've cleaned these things up a little bit, but I think there's some play in here, and I've got brand new ones. So hey, why not go ahead and get them out of the way? And we're gonna follow this ground on that plug right there and make sure that it's actually grounded where it needs to be grounded, because I'm getting a blinky light inside the car. That is an oil level sending unit, which a lot of people argued that this car didn't have it on it, but guess what? There it is right there. So we're gonna follow that up here to the front. I can already feel, I think that ground is loose up here. We're gonna go find where that goes and fix that, get this blinky light to go off, and just a general cleanup inside of here. So stay tuned, more to come. Okay, let's talk about the tools you're gonna need for this. You'll need a 19 millimeter, I used a socket. You're gonna need a 13 millimeter, an 11 millimeter, and an 8 millimeter to take the starter off. So starter's two 19s, and then you've got a 13 and an 8 millimeter on your wire connections. And then when you get the slave cylinder, you got two 13s and an 11 at the top. Be very careful. I stripped mine. I had to use heat instead of ice grips to get it off, but I was lucky. I was able to get it back on there nice and tight. Here you can see me diving into the starter. I'm gonna go ahead and disconnect the battery, and then I'm reaching up in here, and to take it off, my two 19 millimeters is one of the front, one of the back, and then my two electrical wires. And then I've got my 13 millimeter getting up in there, taking the slave cylinder off, and then working to get the connector from the brake line, or excuse me, the master cylinder off. What a bloody fucking mess. It's a pain in the ass to get that thing out of there. So all of our brake fluid is going to drain out, which is fine, because the clutch and the brake are intermixed. And we're going to be putting on stainless steel brake lines here in a minute anyway. So let's go get our master. All right, we got our parts. Our help's going to be leaving us, but we'll get up in here and get that thing installed. All right, just a pro tip. A little bit of grease on the front of the slave cylinder connector. Works really well. Then I put the 13 millimeters back in. Actually started my my clutch line that comes off the master cylinder, where you fill the fluid. I started that first, got it started, then got everything lined up, and then tightened it up, and then tightened the top line at the last minute there, got that in. Now I'm not gonna put my starter in just yet. I'm gonna go ahead and take myself over and get all the brake lines and everything else done. I'll come back here because I gotta bleed it. Bleep, 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 bleep. All right, so we've got the slave cylinder in. That's all done. Since we're stealing from this reservoir anyways, I'm going on ahead and doing all the brake lines, so let's take a look. So there we got our stainless steel braided brake line installed and up in there, and you can see it's going to compress inside of here. It's okay. We'll probably end up by putting a zip tie on here just to hold that back and out of the way so we don't get anything rubbing on it. But got a light going on in here. That's set. Headwear looks pretty good. Just checking that to make sure that it's good. I'll have to bleed all the brakes on the clutch and everything else, but we're good. All right. Last set of brake lines are right here, kind of hidden. So I'll have to work and get those out and replace those. It's right there with hard lines. So I'll get in here and do that in just a sec. Alrighty, let's see if we can get in here. Both sets of brake lines were pretty easy. I think I had a 17 millimeter and a 11 millimeter. or a 12 millimeter, I think it's 11 millimeter, to get all that stuff undone. Be very, very, very careful. I used a ton of PB Blaster and took my time just make sure I got them off. And then I do know the stainless steel braided lines I went back on with were 18s on the connection ends. The little clips that hold all that stuff in place were a pain in the ass to get out. And I cleaned those up real good, PB Blaster, and I may sandblast them later. I know that looked like 5 minutes to you. It's a lot longer for me, I promise. It is hot and humid out here, but let's show you what we did. Probably won't be able to see too much in here, but stainless steel brake lines there. Let's get this car raised up, and I'll let you take a look at what we got in the other places here. Okay, on Amazon, I got this nice brake bleeding and clutch bleeding kit. Just reading the instructions here, RTFM, to make sure that I do it right. This thing worked out really well, by the way. I was a little bit leery of it, but I was able to do all this with one man, literally. And I think I talk about it later in the video, so I won't worry you out and bore you. I'm just going through the instructions here to make sure I get it right. Okay, I think I got it. This connects to my air compressor. This connects to the nipple. They give me the order of operations, and I've got to get the clutch. Sorry, I'm looking straight down on you. That flies in here too. And then the feeder goes on top, and you set that guy to drop fluid down in there. And this sucks, and that provides fluid. Let's see how we do. I won't lie, I struggle to find the best camera angle for all of this. But I think I might have a way to do this back here. We'll see. Might be able to zoom in on this. Yeah, I think it's gonna work. I will go in fast motion here, and you guys can watch me try to drain this. I'm gonna get a ladder and go over, just double check the fluid level. If you don't have one of these, I highly recommend it. Started in the back right corner. I've got air pressure on it. It's 8 millimeter in the back, I believe. The backs are smaller than the front, maybe 7 millimeter. But I just loosened it up and let it suck fluid. I kept putting fluid in the top and just let it go until it drained out. It got real dark and then started cleaning up. Probably not the most fun thing in the world to watch. But it worked. It worked actually incredibly well. So I bought this thing on Amazon well over a year ago. Have yet to even start to play with it. God, I got a haircut. Looks crazy. Have yet to start even playing with it. And started on the back corner here and pulled air for quite a while. Kept filling it up until I got a lot of the air out. Then I swapped and went to the number 3, then the number 2, then the number 1. Then I went to the clutch. And first time I went in the car, if you saw me, the clutch pedal was going to the floor. The brake pedal wasn't doing anything. So I went around them again, and then the clutch pedal came to life, and I pumped the brakes up and got pressure on the brakes, and I went back around, bled everything one more time. So let's get the starter back in this thing and move cars out of the way, because if this thing starts going the opposite direction, I don't have clutch and I don't have brakes, I don't want to end up in the lake down in that area. So let's get the starter back in, the wheels back on, see where we go. All right, putting the starter back in is very easy. Again, 19s on the front and back. I got it lined up, then I did my wires. You have 2 large wires going on the left side, 13 millimeter, and on the very bottom at the 6 o'clock position, there's an 8 millimeter, and that's the red wire, I think is the hot wire for the ignition that goes on there. I got that connected up, and then you can watch, I just got everything tightened up here and started cleaning stuff up as I did this. It's fun to watch. I spilled brake fluid all over the place, so I got some brake cleaner, sprayed it out, and I did this nice little dance cleaning up my Swiss tracks. And here I'm putting the tires on the back, on the far side, then putting this tire on. I've got this thing on jack stands, on rubber mats, so I'll just use my air lift and get this thing back set, and we're going to take it out for a ride. Come along with us, take a look and see what we did. One man brake bleeder works. So just double check a couple things here because woo, new hinges. Okay, let's make sure that's on there and tight, and it is. And it's full, it's not at max. That's good enough. I've got more brake fluid if I need it. And what I'm gonna do is take this little girl for a ride. Come with me. All right, I won't lie. I got a lot more troubleshooting to do. Car fires right up. AC works. I don't know if you can hear me over the AC, but I can sure feel it blowing. A little bit of belt squeal. Brakes all feel good. I'm not worried too much about a belt squeal because I might just need to tighten that up, but make a noise. Looks like it's about to rain. it is spewing. Not sure. It's not the AC. All right, let's be smart and make sure we got brakes. We do. And clutch. We can pump that clutch up. Clutch feels good. Still got a bit of a belt squeak under load. Neighbor outside laughing at me. Alright, belt squeak is gone. My oil pressure indicator light is still on. I meant to check the ground on that. I have brakes. One thing I gotta make sure I got is brakes. Good pedal. No problem at all on that pedal. Gotta get the vacuum lines replaced in here. I got a little bit of a vacuum leak somewhere, but who cares? AC is going good. The car's pulling good. That's a wrap over here. That's a wrap. I think we're good to go. Clutch replacement. Got our brake lines changed out, stainless steel brake lines. Got all the brakes bled, and we're back rolling with Crisco, as they say. So I am good to go. So pass my neighbor. We're out.